I get the point that like it is just 3 games and there's still plenty of time, but to act like there isn't more context to this is ridiculous.
Let's talk Buffalo Sabres. We did a little bit of it yesterday, but that was before the Sabres lost 3-1 to the Avs Monday and fell to 0-3-0 on the season. They are one of 2 teams who have yet to record a point this season, the other being the New York Islanders. Sabres have never led this season. That will not surprise you when you learn that they have scored 2 goals in 3 games. Every other team, including teams who have only played 2 games, have at least 5 goals, including the Seattle Kraken. Shout out them.
Offensive monsters.
They've only scored 5 goals, the Kraken, in 2 games, and they've still won them both. So you don't need to score 1 million goals to win, but you got to do something right. And right now the Sabres don't really do anything right. As I said, Lindy Ruff, 2025 torts after the game against Boston, saying worst compete he's ever seen, not getting the feet moving. Really, I was talking to Sean about it before the game. It was as though he saw what Torts did late in the season and was like, so I can't say that. I know that that's too far, but how else can I say I don't love doing this right now?
And not to be the podcast that talks about other hockey podcasts all the time, but like when I was listening to the Elliott thing, and like you know how Elliott chooses his words very carefully. He talked a lot about how Lindy kind of sounded resigned in that moment.
Can't be on the hot seat if he resigns.
That's true. He can't get fired. It's so the thing about the Sabres here is that like, yes, it's 3 games. Yes, maybe this is kind of like overreacting, and we'll have some sound bites from some of the Sabres star players talking about this is overreactions. You're acting like the sky is falling. You can't. That doesn't get put in place when you're talking about the Buffalo Sabres because they're following a script, and this is a continuation of something that has existed for a long time. And like we already had our concerns about Lindy Ruff and his ability to draw the most out of this group. So like I don't feel like it's too early to say that like shit is really bad there. And yeah, like they have a ton of injury issues right now. Josh Norris is going to be out for a long time. Michael Kesselring hasn't come back. Who else in their forward group is missing?
Samuelson got hurt yesterday.
Samuelson got hurt, but they have another
Benson.
forward missing. Benson's missing.
Yeah, Benson, Greenway, and UPL were all on the ice today.
They're all on the ice today?
Yeah.
Don't let them get hot.
That's because Tage Thompson said, get your ass out there. So there's a lot going wrong with this team, and there is time for them to turn it around, but I don't think you can wait too long if you're Buffalo. Like, that's why the discussion about maybe a coach firing, maybe some changes above that, maybe some changes below that in terms of, like, everything should be on the table because the Sabres can't fucking afford to have this season look the same as seasons past.
Here's Rasmus Dahlin and Tage Thompson after the game on Monday.
We got to get out of this bullshit. It's a mix of everything. Not good enough on the ice. A lot of injuries. We have to step up. This is not acceptable. That's for sure.
I'm a big believer that negativity breeds negativity, and that's kind of how we've snowballed things in the past. So we can't let 3 games be the end of the world. Like I said, like obviously that sucks. No one wants to lose their first 3 games, but we got an opportunity Wednesday to turn it around, and I think that's all we got to start doing is just look at the next game. Can't keep looking back. I mean, the last 3 games, the last 4 seasons, the last 14 seasons, whatever you want to do. We just got to keep our sights set on what's next. And for us, that's Ottawa. And we have a day tomorrow to come in and get better as a group and work on things and move forward. What's done is done. So I'm tired of talking about the past and tired of talking about, well, we're in 3 games. So we'll take some questions on Wednesday if you got them.
Okay, Sean, pop yourself up. It's 3 games, and we're talking about the past, says Tage Thompson. Is he missing the mark?
Partially. I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, I agree, because I've always been this way too, where like it seems like we'll be like a month or 2 into the season, and people will be like, this team's no shot. Like, there's still a lot of season. There is definitely a lot of hockey still to be played, like he says. But there is an energy there being like, I don't know why we're talking about last year or why we're acting like this is more than just 3 games. Like, I I understand as a hockey player wanting to take it a game at a time, and just focus on the next game. But like pretending as though there isn't a reason for alarm and being like, why is the media asking us all these questions about this slow start as if it's more than just 3 games seems tone deaf to me. Like you are the best player or second best player, shout out Rasmus Dahlin, also the energies between their 2 comments were very different to me. But like you're the best offensive player on a team that hasn't been in the playoffs for 14 years. You have to acknowledge the fact that like this isn't just a slow start. This is losing 3 straight games in embarrassing fashion in a season in which everybody's jobs are on the line. And we haven't really mentioned it, but like what Elliott said about Dahlin and Tage wanting to leave if this doesn't work out, for you to sit here and to be Tage Thompson and be like, it's just 3 games. Why are people freaking out? It's like, well, because we're getting signals that you're going to fucking leave if you and your team doesn't turn it around. So like, the energy behind it bothered me. I get the point that like it is just 3 games and there's still plenty of time, but to act like there isn't more context to this is ridiculous.
I think he has to say that, but I also think he has to feel that because he's not saying trade me to our knowledge. He's saying this needs to get better or I got to reassess and then maybe I'm saying trade me. So if you are giving this team every chance to figure it out, and you're right, Elliott says, and I'll get to that quote in a minute, like that it's a short runway. During this runway, he has to be as positive as possible and be like, no, but like we are going to turn it around. I get like that maybe you wish he could phrase it differently, but he would seem like he had his head in the sand if he was like, we're going to figure this out. Like we're building. Bill Belichick, I don't know if you heard, was asked by a reporter in North Carolina, which is amazing. It was like, are you really saying that with this program getting worse, that you're building something? And he was like, absolutely, I'm saying that. Or it's gonna be a process, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. And you hear that and you're like, oh God. So if he said that, we'd be MFing him for that. We'd be like, he's got his head in the clouds. But I think that
it's 2 different situations. Like basketball book reference, that situation is not the same as the Sabres because like even if you take away the fact that Bill Belichick and UNC have fucking sucked, it is year 1 there. So like if they're saying that we are committed into building something, you say, all right, that they have a plan.
Let him get his players.
Patience. The Sabres, they don't have the excuse of saying we're building something because it has been built. This is what they've been building. And so like Tage is almost in a no-win situation because if he stays calm and like acts like it's business as usual, I feel like people will look at him and look at the Sabres and be like, loser's mindset, like you should be pissed off. And he is pissed off now and people are kind of picking it apart. And I do get like the don't blame the media element of it, but I like that at least after 3 games, Tage and Dahlin are pissed. And maybe the anger could be directed in a better direction.
It doesn't seem like they're pissed the right things. Because it seems like they're pissed off that people are talking about it, not that they acknowledge the fact that they suck, but in that same breath, they're being like, but it's only 3 games. Like, we've got time. We've got the next game. And it's like, yeah, that's true, but you're presenting that with an energy of like, why are people worried about this?
Yeah, like why are we talking about this?
There is a valid reason. Like, we're not pulling Lindy Ruff potentially getting fired by the end of the fucking month out of nowhere. Like, I mean, we are in the
month now seems generous.
Yeah, I know. We are in the sense that like we don't. It's not like we're getting information, but like the stakes are high for this team.
Definitely.
The stakes are high for the front office, for the coaching staff, for the players. Like, yeah, I mean, I just don't like 99% of what Tage said there, I'm completely fine with. But at the end, being like, I'm tired of talking about this. It's like, well, the only way that's going to change is if you win fucking hockey games.
Yeah, okay.
And it starts with you.
Especially, too, because, like, how often do we look back at a Sabres season and, like, point to a, like, 8-game stretch
100%.
or something and say, this is why they missed the playoffs. So, like, to say it's a long season, like, we've got so much hockey left to be played, don't freak out, the sky is not falling. That doesn't work for the Sabres because, like, yeah, they could get it together in 3 weeks from now and then miss the playoffs by 4, 5, 6 points. And then we look back at October and say, well, if they didn't start the season with their heads up their asses, maybe they'd be in the playoffs and the drought would be over.
And the last couple of years, I think Tage and some guys on this team could make the argument that being like, yeah, it's been 12 years, whatever, but that wasn't us. Like, this is new. Like, now we've got Captain Rasmus Dahlin, and Tage is hitting his stride. Like, but no, now we are a few years into the Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin, Alex Tuck, UPL, like that. Obviously, UPL hasn't played yet this year, but like we are in that era now. This drought now is on your shoulders. There is no, like, that was a different time, a different team. Like, you are a Buffalo Sabre in the long lineage of Buffalo Sabres who have not lived up to expectations to a certain extent, because at the same time, expectations are always for them to fail.
Yeah. But I don't read pissed from those guys. I read exasperated from Dahlin, and I just read annoyed from Thompson. But like you said, not really annoyed with the team, more that like, fuck, we have to do this again. We have to talk about this again. Here's Elliot on 32 Thoughts. He said, knowing what's on the line with two of your franchise players, it's a short runway. It really is a short runway. He adds, we basically know two of their franchise players, Dahlin and Thompson, have indicated it has to get better this year. We just need to see improvement. We need to see something to believe in. That's why I think the Sabres don't have a long runway for this. I've already started to see, and he also mentions Jarmo, which we've been talking about since last year, that Jarmo maybe eventually takes over for Kevin Adams. I don't know how that hasn't happened already, but that's neither here nor there. I'm already starting to see fans of other teams try to pick at the carcass of the Buffalo Sabres. And
I don't blame them.
And that's where I'm Tage Thompson mode. I'm like, yo, it's 3 games, and these men are signed.
I saw a Tage Thompson Utah Mammoth Photoshop last night, and it's like, The JJ Paterka body's not even cold yet, and you're trying to steal another Sabres forward. I mean, that's crazy.
I think he'd like Utah. I think Tage would love Utah. But, yeah, I mean, I understand it. Like, Tage Thompson and Rasmus, especially Rasmus Dahlin. Like, I think if Rasmus Dahlin, you put him on a real team, people are talking about him as like a top 3 defenseman in hockey. And Tage is going to be an Olympian, maybe, hopefully. We'll see how the season goes. But, like, I understand why teams want him, but like the Oilers fans that are being like, we're getting Tage Thompson.
That's the best.
For who and for what? Like, where's that happening? But
your best young player is a Buffalo Sabres prospect, and
I don't know. Like, unless you want to give us a year and a half of Connor McDavid.
No, dude. Like, I honestly, not kidding. This would never happen. But if the Buffalo Sabres are trading a Tage Thompson to a team with superstars, they at this point have to be like, no, we're not. And again, not saying this happens, but this is like what they should be thinking. If we're trading Tage Thompson, we're trading Tage Thompson and a bunch of stuff for Leon Draisaitl. We're leveling up and getting like one superstar, like face of the franchise guy that's next to Dahlin. They can't keep doing we'll trade this guy for 2 guys and a pick.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like
you can't trade $1 for 3 nickel or 3 quarters is what the Sabres keep doing.
But even if they trade Tage for 3 50-cent pieces, they like, even if the value
there's only so many bottom 6 guys.
Like studs. Even if they only have a few of them, they need to. This is so sad, but they almost need to get back to where they were when they had Jack Eichel, which is the saddest thing I've ever said.
The only thing I will say is if you're trading Rasmus Dahlin and Tage Thompson, you're rebuilding. I don't think you're not finding. I just don't know where you're making a trade.
Should they be allowed to rebuild anymore though? Like they fucking stink at it, baby. And it's rebuilding is super hard, but damn, do they max out at mid when they rebuild?
All right, instead of rebuild talk, can we do runway talk? Because the runway talk is more interesting to me. The Sabres' next 5 games.
Let's say. Can I say this before you get there?
What's up?
Like I said yesterday that they could maybe not win 5 games. I said I don't like. There's a situation in which they don't have a single regulation win by the end of this month.
Okay, so their next games they're at home against the Senators.
1-2-0.
They're at home against the Florida Panthers.
3-1-0.
They're on the road against the Canadiens.
2-1-0.
They're at home against the Red Wings.
2-1-0.
At home against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then on the road against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's their next 6 games over the next this week and then next week.
They'll be dogs in every single one.
Those are difficult games to win. Like, what does this team and this outlook look like by next Sunday? And if they don't turn it around, like, what is the first domino to fall?
You can beat Ottawa at home. I don't know if they will.
You can win any
one
of
of
these
the Maple Leafs games. And yeah, fuck, like you could be. They've They beat the Panthers last year.
And I feel like it's the thing ultimately that is difficult about this team is like they haven't. Even though they're 0-3 and like the least successful team in hockey through the first week, they have not looked like the worst team in hockey. Like they have looked good at. They've also
that
looked
game
like the worst
against
team.
the Bruins,
They've looked like the first period. They looked like the worst team in hockey, but they made that a game by the end of it. Alex Lyon has played out of his mind, and they do have very good players. So it's like it's like little things. It's like a lack of effort. It's not a lack of talent and a lack of like having a respectable power play. But like, yeah, they can win any game. And that's what I think is so frustrating is it's not that their roster is complete dog shit. It's that they're good and still like the Buffalo Bills, a lot of good players. It's just like, there's clearly things not working and it's kind of hard to figure out what those are.
Do you think there's any chance that by the end of next week, at least one of Lindy Ruff or Kevin Adams are fired?
I think that Lindy Ruff being fired since Saturday has been entirely possible to me because he didn't go torts mode, but he went right up to the line where you could say, even if they tread water for a little bit, like this guy sounds I said exasperated with Dahlin. Dahlin's allowed to be exasperated. Lindy Ruff sounded Elliot used the word resigned. I don't want to say checked out, but kind of like I only heard the audio, but it seemed like
this is I'm an old man and I don't have time for
right.
It was like the torts thing where it's just like and I think the torts thing was taken wildly out of context and like he was kind of grilled in a way that he shouldn't have been. But like his energy was very much like, I've been doing this a long time. I've had success to a certain extent. Like I didn't become a coach at fucking 90 years old to coach a bad team.
I mean, he took the Buffalo Sabres job. So
yeah,
he kind of
okay, but like, despite, ignoring the fact that he was once the Buffalo Sabres coach and a Buffalo Sabres player, so we should know what being a Buffalo Sabre means. Like, when he took that job, there was reason to believe that, like, within a few years, they could be a cup contender. Like, if things had gone well. Obviously, there's no reason to ever believe that the Sabres are going to find success. But, like, it obviously just hasn't turned out that way. And again, who saw that coming?
I just think right now we are putting the Buffalo Sabres on must-watch TV basically every single night because every game means so much.
Always
already.
have been, but yeah. Always have been.
October 14th, 3 games into the season, we are putting the Buffalo Sabres on like must-watch TV because of stakes.
And also like as much as Lindy Ruff and Kevin Adams probably need to lose their jobs, like Pete DeBoer should have some self-respect and not take this job. And like, what do you do from there? Like, I don't think a GM or a coach is going to come. Like, a coach can come in and maybe get this team some wins, but like the roster is still, I don't think, is good enough for them to like. And I know this is not the next step. But like, they're clearly not a cup contender right now. They don't have like. There's holes. Is a GM going to come in and fix that right now? Especially if this season does not turn around and they have to get rid of Tage and or Dahlin. Like, it just is a dark time.